What's going on, guys? Kiger here. In today's video, I want to talk to you about both NA and Global, about the new banners and should you summon. Let's get into it. So before I talk about any of them, I want to address the elephant in the room, and that would be the collaboration in about 2 weeks. So your scrolls will not be used to summon the collaboration monsters. They'll be using a different scroll that you'll be getting during the event. Now, some people are speculating that you'll be able to transfer scrolls into this new kind of scroll, so that could be a reason to save them, but I don't believe that's going to be the case. Talking about NA first, we have the Fire Ifrit banner. Now, there's a little bit of confusion about this because on the notice of this that came out a couple days ago, the picture showed event ends in 27 days. That I'm sure was put out a while ago. I'm sure they took that from their model version of the game and just pushed it live here, so those times kind of lined up where they were testing it and having it ready 2 weeks prior, and then pushed it out, and then it's 2 weeks left. So it's 2 weeks, not 27 days. That was a little confusion for some people. For NA, we have the Fire Ifrit Tessarian banner. I believe he's a very, very powerful unit. He is a fire archer. He is going to allow you to do very, very well in Tyrglan's Cave because he applies burn on his basic and both of his abilities. He's also going to be decent in the Temple of Darkness as well as the hard special expedition, because he applies Oblivion, and Oblivion stops her passive from going off. If we take a look down here in strategy info, boss weakness changes depending on the boss. And if we take a look over here, all the bad stuff that can't happen, and then it says, but Oblivion and Provoke can be applied to this boss. So Tessarian will allow you to ignore all their passives, which is the main reason this boss is an issue. Now, and it's also a very, very powerful unit in PvP. If we take a look at the monster himself, then Tessarian, the main reason is going to be his Oblivion. When attacking 70% rate to apply Oblivion for 14 seconds. That's going to include his basic attack and both of his skills. Now, his basic also applies burn, and he's a ranged unit, so he's going to naturally have powerful auto attacks, which applies the 200% attack, which is the highest for base attack bonus. And then we have the chance for burn. Both of his other skills, the first skill, if you're using Soul Link, is very powerful. 3 mana, damage based on burn, and level 2 defense down. Very powerful, no conditional, amazing. Second skill, damage based on burn and apply burn. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that if you spam this, it's going to become more and more damage. But it's 4 mana, not 3. I would recommend using Mega Smash while using other effects that apply burn. If you're trying to build Tessarian with runes, I recommend an okay amount of accuracy, high crit rate, crit damage, and if you're doing PvE, attack speed will be decent because of his basic, but if you're in PvP, I would give up that attack speed and give him some tankier stats, because in PvP, you want him to survive long so he can keep applying the Oblivion. Now let's talk about Global. Now over on Global, we have the Water Pioneer Wusa, who has been added as the banner. We still have the Oracle banner going on for Juno, Praha, and I'm sorry, I forget the Wen one's name. So Wusa is a very interesting unit. And in A, we got him quite a while ago, and he's very, very powerful, applying the immunity, continuous recovery, shield, things like that. Uh, in A, he's starting to fall out of favor as new units are released, and he just doesn't really keep up in the game modes that he's powerful in. In global, he's probably going to be very powerful for quite a while. Look at him is going to be very, very different between PvP and PvE. In PvE, he is very small usage. He can be used in Naraka, for example, applying continuous recovery during the DPS phase, because continuous recovery will keep applying every time the burn is applied to you, so you never have to worry about the healing. But that's a very, very niche aspect. In PvP, he's pretty much exclusively used in Brawl as a defensive unit. That kind of meta is starting to crack down, so he's starting to wane out of favor. Whereas something like Juno or Praha are both very viable units still in those game modes. Juno recently got a nerf where she would 50% of the time when she uh, gets rid of a debuff or gets rid of a buff, she would give the summoner 1 mana. Now it's 33%, done a lot of testing, and it almost doesn't matter. 50% to 33% is statistically a difference, but in actual gameplay, you're using the skills enough that it really does not matter. Uh, she's also the most powerful with a Despair rune set, which in global you'll be getting in the first week of May. So not very, very far off. Now, if you already have Juno and you're thinking about Wusa, I would think about, we've already been told by the devs what the banner after Wusa is going to be, and that would be the wind vampire Argon, which is one of the 3 top DPSs in the game. If you already have Argon, you have Juno, and you are a big PvP player, you can go for Wusa. Just myself rolling on a global server, I probably wouldn't. Now, if you are going to build him and you want to know how you should build him, let's take a look at the unit. On a skill 1, he has low base attack. On skill 2, does continuous recovery. If they have a shield, another continuous recovery. This is really nice for a cleave, or if you do skill 3 then skill 2, because skill 3 applies the shield, skill 2 will apply the extra continuous recovery. Skill 3 does one of the bigger shields and immunity. The issue being that it doesn't actually heal, and the shield and immunity are both buffs that we already have Vampire Hunter in global to just strip these and then do damage onto Wusa. That's something to watch out for. Whereas his book effect is HP and resistance. So if you take a look, the only stat he cares about is he buffs allies and he does an HP percent shield. So really, triple energy set is the only way to build this guy, because the only stat he cares about is HP. You're obviously going to want some defense and resistance so he can survive. Evasion is viable, but I wouldn't build a set on it. But really just HP, let him do his thing. His mana cost and cooldowns are kind of high, but he is a very powerful unit. He just needs the right setup. I hope this helped you all decide if you want to summon on the Fire Ifrit Tessarian and the Water Pioneer Wusa. Till next time, guys.